My name is John Mullen, and I'm the former dean of the grad school at UMass Amherst and presently a professor emeritus. And every year at the university in our program in regional planning, what we do is we go out and work in communities to do projects. We've been blessed, thanks to Karen and Jesse, that this is our fourth project in Stow. And I also have to thank Laurie, she's been our boss on this for all four, right? And we're grateful for the town of Stow, and we're happy to be back again. The purpose of tonight is really to gather your ideas. We're going to break you up in a little bit and have a mini charrette workshop. That one of the things that Stow people have told me that don't use that word charrette, right? That it's a workshop, and what we want to do is get your ideas in terms of how we're going to move forward on it. And through the process, the group of ideas have been put forward to the town. We've collected some ideas and we put them together just to wet your whistle. And what we've got is a very, very special place in terms of the ecology and the openness. It's in the center of your town. Very, very few towns in Massachusetts have their town centers marked by really what I'll call things natural, and that and this is clearly one of them. So planning, doing this, and taking a look at where we're going to do it over the long haul is part of the process. So I have two of my grad students here today. Jesse Renier, right here, is especially, actually he's been working in brownfields and environmental conditions for 10 years prior to coming back? 5, okay. Yeah. He's also a near professional marathoner who cut my class last spring to go to and run the Boston Marathon, which I was proud of him for that. And he says that you're running the Manchester Marathon tomorrow? Sunday, okay. So it's better than going to a shrink. So, and then Noam, Noam is from Brazil, and he is learning all the vernacular of America and is doing a crackerjack job, and he is our number one gopher. There's not a detail that misses him, and we're very great because I'm one of those people that can't see a detail at 30,000 feet in a hailstorm, right? And so Noam, thank you. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to turn it over to them for about a 15-minute presentation, then we're going to break you up into groups, and the same way many of you, I'm looking out there, have gone through this process before, and we'll explain how we work it. The one thing that perhaps will make you a little bit upset is that friends can't stay with friends, spouses can't stay with spouses, and committee members can't stay with committee members. And this is how we break you all up. We get your hearts and minds. That's why we like to have first names only, if it's possible. So with that, Jesse, I'm going to turn it over to you, 15, 20 minutes, and then I'll come back up and we'll take off. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you all very much for coming. I've done a few of these workshops in a couple different towns, much bigger than Stow, and we had a much smaller turnout, so it's really great to see everybody here on a night like tonight with the World Series. I don't know if anybody really cares tonight with Boston not being in it, but thank you again for coming. So I'm going to give a overall view of what we're doing here. So we're doing a town center study. So for the planning department, we're looking to do a comprehensive plan, and the boundaries of our project that we've decided on stems from the west with the center school and Hale Middle School, Russell convenience store, the town hall buildings, the fire station east along Great Road, including the churches, the police station, obviously Minister's Pond, the residents around there, and up north onto Crescent Street. So this is the area that we're hoping to look at tonight. The boundaries can be a little bit flexible, but that's our general area. So our general working goals, and these are the long-term vision things that we're looking at, are these future uses for some of these town center parcels. As many of you know, the fire station is moving down the street to the Pompsiticate School, and some other departments are moving over as well. We've got the Crescent Street Highway building that is kind of up in the air as well. Obviously the library parcel, the Upper Common, and so we're just looking at potential alternatives and future uses, looking down 20 years into the future. So we're going to kind of study this area, looking at it as it's more human scale of an area. This is, we have our library here. Kids are getting off from school and walking about the center. What things can we do to make it a little bit more pedestrian friendly and safer area? And then, since we are the Center for Economic Development, we have to think a little bit about economic development and as well as historic preservation in such a nice old town. So our objectives are kind of our work plan of the steps that we're taking to get our vision plan for the town center. So we're starting off looking at the master plan and all the different town documents, the open space plan. There's a pedestrian walkway study, things of that nature. And we're going to be looking at the different developable parcels in the area. And one of them, of course, is 323 Great Road, which many of you, I'm sure, are familiar with. This is north of the Union Church parcel. And so here's Great Road. We have the church, the police station here with Minister's Pond over here. So this parcel is 4 acres large, currently undeveloped, had a former residence on it. And so the planning department has sent out requests for proposals for future uses for this, and they've received 5 different proposals, which I'll go through here in a minute. And now, tonight, it's great that we have all of you here. One of our really important steps is getting the community feedback. So our progress so far, we've come, done a bunch of site visits, walked the whole area, walked through the 323 Great Road parcel. We've had meetings, lots with Jesse and Karen, and then with the fire, police, and building staff. We're looking at other case studies of small towns similar to Stow that also have these beautiful ponds right in the center, and see what they've done. And then so the meat of this really are analyzing the proposals that have come for the 323 Great Road parcel. So a lot of these are very conservation based. So as you can see, we have the Conservation and Recreation Commission. They sent in 2 proposals, and then we've got the Open Space Committee, the Conservation Trust. So we know what Stow values with that, and then the Municipal Affordable Housing Trust. So I'm going to go through each one of those right now, and then in those packets here, you can kind of see each one of them a little bit more specifically. So the Conservation and Recreation Commission's first proposal, it starts off with 3 affordable housing units in a 4,500 square foot building. And so this would be on the flatter area in the southwestern portion of that. And there's the utility easement through the parking lot of Union Church. They have accessible trails, which are going to be smooth, flat cinder paths, accessible to all abilities. And then these smaller dashed lines are a little bit more aggressive trails. We've got benches, the informal field, which is kind of right now just an open meadow with good views to Minister's Pond. So it's going to include the affordable housing, the park area, and then also this public water supply. So if we cite a drinking water well over here, all you need is about 200 feet for the regulations to anything, to any structures, and that would give a water supply for the town center area. So their second proposal is very similar to the first, except it doesn't have any structures. It doesn't have the affordable housing, that is. So we have instead in that area more of an active recreation or possibly a bocce area up front, a gazebo, things of that nature, but pretty similar, keeping it this kind of conservation accessible area. So then the Stow's Open Space Committee proposal is similar to this one, this last one, but it really is, the theme is that this is the last chance to really save this piece of land to have a accessible park in the town center. If we build on it now, really this is kind of our last chance to preserve that and have the town center have this great park. So the Conservation Trust's proposal also is just like the last two, but it really focuses on the nature play area, along with the trails and the benches and whatnot. So there are these structures and new research that says that kids shouldn't be on plastic playgrounds and metal playgrounds. They should be on these things that look like the outdoors. And so these are just a few examples of things that kind of meld in with the environment. They look much more earthy, and it gives children an opportunity to kind of feel and play a little bit more. And then so lastly, the Affordable Housing Trust proposal. This one tries to put everything into this. So we've got the conservation area with some trail, the municipal water supply and open space, but then the affordable housing portion is 12 to 16 affordable housing units. And the interesting thing about this is these are some of the initial thoughts for designs. So they'd be in these smaller cottage style type designs, kind of a New England feel. So now I'm going to hand it over to Noam to transition.
So the reason we are all here is to get an input from you, the public, from Stow. This is going to be a brainstorming session. That means that whatever you have in your mind, please share with everybody. We want to have this information. It's really, really important for any planning process. And how we're doing that will be by a SWOT analysis. SWOT is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We'll be gathering into tables, separate tables, and based on those aspects, if you can bring whatever comes to your mind as an opportunity, as a threat, having in mind what we were discussing right now about the proposals, I think we'll all be able to build a consensus, and that's what everybody hopes from this session. Okay, and thank you again for being here in the rainy evening, and let's start the activity.